If you didn't already know, the Canon EOS R provides a log picture profile called C-Log, which gives you more dynamic range than the standard picture profiles. But in my opinion, on this camera, it's not very practical for a few reasons. And in this video, I'm going to explain why I think that is, what you can do about it, and show you how. Pretty much every digital camera has an exposure tool called a histogram that helps you see how bright your scene is overall. And like most cameras, the EOS R has a histogram. But a histogram can't show you the exposure value for a specific point in your scene. On the other hand, a waveform works differently. It shows you the exposure value across your scene from left to right, so you can more accurately expose for your main subject. And with C-Log, that's quite crucial. But unfortunately, the EOS R isn't equipped with a waveform. You could hook it up to an external monitor that does have a waveform, but for me that's not always practical or even possible. Exactly how you would expose for C-Log is going to be a subject of a video I've got coming shortly, so if you don't want to miss that, then please subscribe and hit the notification bell. Now you might be thinking, why don't you just use automatic exposure? And certainly if the camera is moving around a scene with changing light, auto exposure can be very helpful. But for reasons I don't understand, Canon decided to make the EOS R so that when you engage C-Log, auto exposure is not possible. And those are the reasons why I think that C-Log on the EOS R is not very practical. So now we come on to what you can do about it. And it's a compromise, but in my opinion, it's a really good one. Technicolor Cinestyle is a third-party low-contrast picture profile that gives you a pseudo-log image. It's not really log, but 1. It still looks a load better than any of the standard picture profiles. 2. It's easier to grade than C-Log. In fact, with the settings that I use, it looks really good most of the time straight out of camera. 3. You can still use auto exposure. And 4. It's completely free. So I'm going to show you how to install Cinestyle step by step on your EOS R, and then I'm going to show you the detailed settings that I use with it on my camera. All you need is your camera and a standard USB-C cable. Then on your computer, you need to download the Cinestyle picture profile from technicolor.com/Cinestyle. I'll also put a link to that in the description below. Next, you need to install Canon's EOS Utility 3. Canon also do have programs called EOS Utility 2 and Picture Profile Editor, but you don't need those. All you need is EOS Utility 3. So, go to Canon's website and click the link to Support, then Software. Canon's website in other countries may look a little different than it does over here in the UK, but because the end software is always going to be the same, it doesn't really matter, so it should be safe to follow along the UK path if you want to. Then you need to type in EOS R into the product field on this screen and click the link button to download the EOS R utility installer. Naturally, you'll also need to accept the disclaimer before the download starts, but once it's downloaded, just launch the installer, tell it where you're based, click Next, then OK, and you'll see the bundle of programs it wants to install. Remember, you only need EOS Utility 3 for this exercise, but I couldn't find a way to install it on its own, so I just clicked Install to install everything. If you can figure out how to do a custom install here and just install the one program, then let me know in the comments. Now you'll need to open up EOS Utility 3. Once that's running, connect the EOS R to your computer with the USB-C cable and turn it on. The application should recognise your camera within a few seconds, and when it does, click the Camera Settings option. Then, click Register Picture Style File. Just select one of the 3 user-defined profiles in your camera that you want to register it to. Click the folder icon to choose the Cinestyle file you downloaded earlier. Then click OK. Now returning to the camera, you should see Cinestyle in the Picture Profiles menu. On my camera, I already have Cinestyle assigned to User Profile 3. If you press the info button on the camera when the picture profile is highlighted, you'll see the picture profile detail settings. And I find the default ones to be a little too flat looking. I set the contrast to 2 clicks up from the bottom and the sharpness strength to 1 click up from the bottom. I actually have a more technical video that explains why setting the sharpness control on the EOS R to just 1 up from the bottom is the correct setting. So please feel free to check that out, and I'll put a link to it here somewhere and also in the description. Now, I'm currently filming on my Canon C200, but so you can see what Cinestyle looks like on the EOS R, I'm going to switch cameras now. And here's a quick comparison between Cinestyle and the EOS R's neutral profile with the sharpness, contrast and colour all dialed down to minimum. If you need to use auto exposure with Cinestyle on the EOS R, I tend to set the exposure compensation value to +2/3 of a stop, and that seems to work really well for me in most scenarios. In post-production, I'll sometimes need to drop the shadows a bit to bring back some contrast, but I'd rather do that than start with an image that's too contrasty to begin with, like with the standard picture profiles, and then have to lift the shadows, which would also increase noise and make it look quite ropey. So I'd be interested to know if you've already tried Cinestyle on the EOS R and what you think of it, so let me know in the comments. If you haven't, but you found this video useful, please give me the old thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please don't forget to subscribe for more videos about film and sound production. I'm also a musician, and occasionally I release videos about that too. So if you're interested in any of those things, then please stay tuned. But that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.